tensions were pretty high in Congress today as the GOP tried and failed in the most humiliating fashion to get their budget P, and for that reason, we saw tempers flare up across Congress. But the most clear example was James Co-MR, who really threatened to call the cops on Maxwell Frost for humiliating Donald Trump in a hearing that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Before we get into what Maxwell Frost had to say and why it upset James Comer so much, I think we got to take a look at a little bit of that commentary on the budget from Jared Moskowitz. It's right here.
I was recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, today, Representative Thomas Massie, who is a budget hawk who walks around with the debt clock, which, by the way, I bought. It's $99 on his website, or on a website, talked about today that the Republican budget, if the Republican budget passes, the budget deficit doesn't get better, it gets worse. And then Elon Musk commented, and he said, "That sounds bad." Boy, that is awkward. I mean, you know how much we hate it when you guys fight amongst each other. And you know, so that wasn't enough, right? Then Representative Massie went to the meeting, the Republican meeting where the budget was being discussed, and he came out and he said, you know what, they convinced me. They convinced me that he's a no. And the reason he's a no is he said over the next 3 years, it's going to add almost $1 trillion to the debt. And he said, and that's in the most best case, the most rosy scenario. And then he said, that's a lie. Man. You know, so this clock that we have that has the debt, you know, it's still going up. DOGE has not yet reversed it. And I say that as a member of the DOGE caucus who wants to shrink the size of government and cut spending. But this 36, instead of your budget making it a 35, it's going to make it a 37. We're going to go to $37 trillion in debt. And so, look, if you pass this today, this idea about DOGE or the Republicans being fiscal hawks or wanting to cut spending is no longer reality. I yield back. Thank you.
This is a terrible budget being proposed by Republicans. It's the reason that it failed. And Jared Moskowitz mentioned Thomas Massie, who was one of the Republicans coming out against this budget, and we will get into him more in just a little bit. But that is how you deliver a message. That is how you deliver a call out. And it's kind of what we saw. Well, it's exactly actually what we saw from Maxwell Frost, who called out Donald Trump and then was threatened by James Comer for doing so. But let's not talk about it. Let's take a look at...
People like the grifter-in-chief Trump and President Musk are openly using their public offices to enrich themselves to the tune of billions of dollars. So if we want to look at waste, fraud, and abuse, which I'm down to do, why is there complete silence on the other side of the aisle about looking at the complete grifter that is the President of the United States and the richest man on the earth, which is looking into things like Social Security and different things like that? Why don't we investigate the real corruption?
Hold off. Point of order.
I reclaim my time.
Point of order.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Hold off. There was a point of order when you said something. Who asked for it? Mr. Higgins. Would you like to revise your remark with respect to improperly identifying the President of the United States?
I'll say President Musk and grifter-in-chief Trump.
All right.
Grifter-in-chief
Hey, Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Wait a second.
If I wanted to challenge someone to a fight, they would know it. Thank you.
Chairman, if Mr. Musk actually came here, then maybe the Rules Committee.
I heard no
apply to
disparagement
him.
of the-
I'll say something else.
We'll save a lot of time.
I'll say something else.
Okay. All right. We're going to let Chair recognize Mr. Frost. You still have 3:49. You're going to maybe revise the disparaging comment about the president because that's supposed to be our decorum here. And
it is supposed to be. President Musk and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who is engaged in grifting of the American people, often use their public offices to enrich themselves. Someone on the other side was just asking, how would you feel if you called someone else from the other?
Hold off, Mr. Frost. Hold off. There's a pending motion for disparaging the president.
I will say the president's grifting because you spent the last 2 years saying President
Take
Biden
down
was corrupt.
his words.
I can say that Trump is
motion-
grifting. What I will withdraw is calling him grifter in chief. That is what I will
The chair
withdraw.
sustains the point of order, and the words in question are ordered stricken from the transcript of this proceeding. So the member is barred from further participation.
Ms. Crockett.
Insulting people's appearance as well as trying to fight them isn't a problem.
Point of order. It's a yes or no.
But we're so
Yes,
sad
Nope.
Yes or no? Yes or
that
no?
our
Order.
Yes or no?
Order.
Just skip her.
We're so
Skip her.
sad.
Skip her. You're
My
skip
vote.
her. Go to the
Order.
next one. Go to the next
The
one.
MSNBC anchor.
Go to the next one. Don't count that. Go to the next one.
Ms. Randall votes no. Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam votes no.
I want to say it's despicable that this committee is going to silence me for bringing
The
up
gentleman's
Trump's
words have been
Mr.
taken
Frost,
down. He is not
corruption.
permitted to
Frost.
speak for the rest of the hearing.
making millions of dollars.
Mr. Frost,
off the American people.
Mr. Ranking Member, I'm going to have the Sergeant at Arms remove him if he doesn't refrain.
So because my great Congressman Maxwell Frost said that Donald Trump is a grifter, Donald Trump who has stolen millions and almost at this point billions of dollars from his supporter through his campaigns, which really just were legal defense funds, and now a crypto scam that has netted him billions of dollars because Maxwell called that guy a grifter. The guy who sold watches, the guy who sold plates, the guy who sold shoes, the guy who really just sold out everything he possibly could. Calling that guy a grifter is against the law. Well, the White House did today say that they're picking the press and they're picking the questions and they're writing them for the reporters and they're getting rid of whoever doesn't say exactly what they like. So it wouldn't be a surprise if criticizing Donald Trump became illegal, because it seems like when you do it, either they threaten to arrest you or they threaten to investigate you. We saw it with Robert Garcia now. We're seeing it with Maxwell Frost. But it's because Republicans know how much of a failure they are and that they can't get their budget through, that they are unable to govern, and they need Democrats to bail them out. And Democrats aren't going to do so. Because we saw Hakeem Jeffries step up a little bit today, and let's be honest, we needed that from him lately. And he said this right here.
Today we stand together as House Democrats with the American people to push back against this reckless Republican budget. This is a critical moment in the American journey. Everything we care about is under assault. The economy is under assault. The safety net is under assault. Our very way of life as a country is under assault. Democracy itself is under assault. Donald Trump, the administration, and House Republicans are hurting the American people. It's unacceptable, unconscionable, un-American, and we are not going to stand for it 1 minute. The Republican budget represents the largest Medicaid cut in American history. Children will be devastated. Families will be devastated. People with disabilities will be devastated. Seniors will be devastated. Hospitals will be devastated. Nursing homes will be devastated. So let me be clear, House Democrats will not provide a single vote to this reckless Republican budget. Not one. Not one. Not one. They will not get a single Democratic vote. Why? Because we're voting with the American people. We're voting with the American people. We will push back against the Republican budget today. We will push back against the Republican budget tomorrow. We will push back against the reckless Republican budget until it's buried deep in the ground, never to rise again. Never to rise again. We stand with the American people until victory is won. The reckless Republican budget will hurt everyday Americans who rely on Medicaid, rely on nutritional assistance, and rely on veterans' benefits. This is not a reality show. This is not a joke. This is not politics as usual. It's a matter of life and death. And so we will stand with the American people. Stand with them today, stand with them tomorrow, stand with them next week, stand with them next month, stand with them this year, stand with them next year, stand with the American people until victory is won, this budget is defeated, and America is restored.
I do not want to see Democrats bend the knee. I do not want to see them say Republicans. I do not want them to pretend that we can work in good faith with these people. Why on earth would we pass a budget when Donald Trump has explicitly said that he doesn't care how Congress appropriates its funds where it directs them to? He'll be doing whatever he wants. Why would we help those people? We shouldn't, we haven't. And we better not, Mr. Jeffries, right here, me and you, AKM us right now. Do not help them. Do not save them. Let them flounder, because I don't think these Republicans are backing down. Listen to Thomas Massey right here.
Yeah. Can you just talk to us? Are you still a no? Is there anything?
They convinced me in there. I'm a no.
Is there anything?
Look what, let me, their own numbers. If the Republican plan passes under the rosiest assumptions, which aren't even true, we're going to add $328 billion to the deficit this year. We're going to add $295 billion to the deficit the year after that, and $242 billion to the deficit after that, under the rosiest assumptions. Why would I vote for that?
So are you solidly a no?
Yeah, they convinced me. I was a lean no until this meeting. Now I'm a no.
This no confirmed.
This is a no.
Why? Why?
They're talking points. Look. These are not something I made up. This is the leadership's talking points. It adds $328 billion to the deficit. It adds $295 billion to the deficit the year after that. The only way they get to this magic thing where it's not going to kill our country is 5 years from now, they imagine that 2.5% growth accumulates, and that even right here they say they're going to cap discretionary spending. You think we're going to cap discretionary spending and then spend at the...
It is crazy to hear a Republican make sense, but wow. Yeah, spot on there. Agenda is bad. It is hypocritical. And it is just about tax cuts for billionaires. Pretty clear. I think that's a pretty good summation of it. Thank you, Thomas Massey, for doing one good thing. I don't know much else about you. But if that's what you're bringing to the table, we're going to be happy with you today. You're going to call out Republicans, and so will we. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, you can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.